Change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Van Orden, and I'm in the middle of a bit of a crisis, so I thought I would take a moment to capture this and share with you how I'm going to work through it. Coming up on July 3rd is the U.S. Mountain Running Championships at Loon Mountain in New Hampshire. Basically, we're running 10K up a ski area, ski slopes, and it's a brutal race. And a lot of my comeback this year has been centered around doing really well at the U.S. Mountain Championships. So I've been busting my butt really, really hard, doing the most intense training I've done in the past 3 years. My mileage hit 90 miles last week. The level of intensity is through the roof right now for my hard workouts. So I'm really, really gearing up and hoping to get on the podium in the Masters category, 40 and over. So the crisis is my Achilles tendon, which is permanently injured, so to speak. It's got bone spurs growing up into the tendon, and it's painful all the time when I walk, when I sleep, when I run. It just doesn't stop. I've gotten used to it. And I went to a PT who works with Olympic athletes, and he said, it's healed, it's just gonna hurt. So if you don't mind the pain, keep training, but the tendon has healed. Well, that was probably 10 months ago that I had that conversation. And yesterday I had a flash of pain go through my Achilles when I was running that was just off the charts. So I basically stopped my run short and thought that I would check to see how it's doing the following day, today, and it still really hurts. It's really, really sore in there. And the US Championships are a week and a half away. So what do you do in a situation like this? I've been building and building and building, and this week is really, really essential to finish off that build before I start tapering on the final week leading up to the race. So today, I had a huge workout planned. I was going to run up 2 mountains, get about 4,000 feet of elevation gain, and really beat the crap out of myself. But running up mountains requires that you're up on your toes, puts a lot of stress on your Achilles. So I decided to bail on that workout today. In fact, I might be bailing on running for the next few days, even though there's a huge part of my brain that's saying, you can't do that, you've worked so hard, and you're gonna blow it if you don't run. So here's what I've decided to do. Even though this week is really, really critical to me hitting that peak level of performance, it's only gonna add about 1% to my fitness, at most 1%. So if I don't hit this week super hard, the effect is going to be pretty minimal. Yeah, when you're trying to compete in a national championship, 1% can make the difference between 1st and 5th. But pushing through this injury right now could mean that I don't get to race at all. I've still got a week and a half to go, and if I make this tendon worse, or if it tears or snaps, I'm done. I'm not running at all. There is no championship. So I've decided to go with the safer route, which is to take a few days off from running and maybe get a 1% decline in performance when I get to the race. I'm willing to take that to stay running. So what I'm doing instead of running right now is trying to target the muscles that are going to get me up the mountain without getting the Achilles or the soleus muscle, which is just above the Achilles. It becomes the Achilles as it goes down into the ankle. Trying not to engage that muscle in the tendon. So come over to my lab and I'll show you what I'm doing today instead of running. So what I've just been doing is some Tabata sets on my spin bike. A Tabata set is 4 minutes long, and it's a series of 20 seconds all out with incredibly difficult resistance, 10 seconds rest, and for me, rest is still pedaling at that super high resistance, but pedaling very, very slowly. Maybe 1 revolution every 2 seconds, maybe even less. So it might only be 3 revolutions total in that 10-second recovery time. And I'm still pushing pretty hard to get the pedals to move. And then 20 seconds all out to absolute exhaustion. And I do that 8 times, and that equals 4 minutes. Then I take a 5-minute rest, and I repeat the thing again. So I'm gonna do 2 Tabata sets on the bike. And then I've got my favorite tool right here. This is a salt lick that I got at Tractor Supply Company. You can buy a salt lick for, I think, $6.99, and it is 50 pounds. These are the cheapest weights you can buy anywhere. So go to Tractor Supply or another farm type store, get a salt lick for $7, and you've got a 50-pound weight, and it's got holes on either side, so you can grab it. And what I do is lift it up to my chest. I hold it like this on my chest, and I do squats. Really, really powerful, explosive squats. And I do sets of 30 of those. So holding a 50-pound weight, so it's shoulder strength as well and back strength, which are really important for driving up a hill, driving up a mountain, because your shoulders need to be driving to keep the legs moving. I've found that my weakest link in mountain running is my shoulders. My shoulders give out before my legs do, and once my shoulders get sloppy, once I lose that arm drive, I also lose the leg drive. And getting the lower back engaged is also really important. You'll see a lot of runners slumping over as they get up the hill, which closes off the diaphragm, closes off their ability to take in oxygen. So you want to remain straight, and that's going to require a strong lower back. So this is something I do anyway, once a week or twice a week, depending. I'll do squats with this weight. But now that I'm not able to run for the next few days, I'm going to hit these even harder. So when you find yourself at a point where you're pushing potential long-term injury, back off. It's not worth it. I don't care what the event is. I don't care what your goal was. You've got to let that finish line go and allow yourself to be at a new start line. And I'm hoping that if I do this and I give myself a couple days off, I'll be able to race on July 3rd. I'll still do quite well. And then we'll find some other goal beyond that. But pushing myself right now, running, not a good idea. So I've got to be willing to let that goal go, or at least the perfect idea of a perfect race, let it go. Get rid of the pressure. And that's actually going to allow me to relax a bit more and be more present in the race and not run in a panic thinking that I've got to perform at my best. I can start slower. I can gradually ease my way into the race. And I found that when I don't have pressure on me, I actually perform much, much better. Okay? So I hope there's some useful information in there for you. If you've got a running injury in the Achilles especially, this kind of stuff is really good because you're loading the quads, you're loading the glutes, which are really important muscles for running, especially uphill, but you're not going to engage the soleus or the Achilles because you're working with a flat foot. You're not toeing off, right? Those are really brutal. All right, so again, if you want a great workout and you don't want to spend a lot of money, get yourself a salt lick. It's the cheapest weight set you can buy, and go to town, knock yourself out. All right, see you guys. If I can get everything to hit 70, I'm gonna have a pretty damn good race. Now, 70% doesn't mean that you're 70% of your maximum time. It simply means that you can't control everything in the world, and you're going to try to control 70% of what's going on leading up to that race and in that race.